That's us over there.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Is this
Good evening. This is Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. I'm Ahura Z, and this is Kazi.
hello? Thanks for tuning in.
This
Tonight is February 26th. I lost track. Episode what? 22? 23?
That's good enough.
Something like that. Episode 1, 2 for TV.
Okay. Actually, this is our very first time doing the revised Ask the Unicorn show.
Yeah.
As you all recall, I did the show earlier with Charlie Alejandro, and it was pretty cool. But now we've reformatted everything, so it may take us a couple of weeks to get used to doing it this way. But I promise you, we'll have a great show. For those of you that have never joined us before, I'm your host. This is my co-host Kazi, and this is Ask the Unicorn. I answer questions about the metaphysical, the paranormal, the mystical, and the spiritual. If you have questions to any of those effects, I'll be more than happy to answer you. I'll give you the best answer possible. If you have a problem that comes up in your energy, I will give you the quickest possible solution. And if there's something that I can get you to that will benefit your life, I will make it very simple for you to reach that goal. I do not answer certain types of questions, one of them being if someone is going to die or whether or not someone is cheating on their husband or their wife. I really don't want to get into that type of drama, and I refuse to. So please make your questions anything that has to do with anything other than that. And I am sure that we will have a wonderful time together.
If you have any questions, you can send us questions through our Facebook page. And that is, let me tell you, one moment. Yes. I'm such a dork. I'm sorry.
As you can see, we're quite new to doing it this way, but we'll smooth out all of the kinks, and we're very happy to be here on internet television. As you can see, we have our nice, beautiful set. Okay,
It's so
and we also have
cool.
our magnificent studio.
With swivelly chairs, since the two
With
of us are
swivelly chairs.
swiveling.
And we have some nice candles lit, and I hope you all are in a comfortable place that you can watch the show. I'm going to get to some questions almost right away. Many of you may be asking what happened to my braids. Believe me, the hair is still there. It's just kind of packed away for right now, because every once in a while I have to take my braids down to wash my hair and re-bleach it, and then put the braids back in it again. So next week I'll have my braids and everybody can feel comfortable again. Okay? All right, so let's go over to our chat room. Do we have anything at all?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For those of you that would like to ask your questions, please, we have things reformatted, so you'll have to type in your questions for right now until we can figure out a way for you to actually talk to us live. And that will just be a matter of a couple of weeks or so.
In the meantime, you can send us messages on Facebook under Ahura Z Deliza.
That's me.
That's him. Just I have it pulled up so you can send us a message and we will get it. Or you can also give us a call on our phone, which is in my pocket, 207-347-5686.
Again, that is area code 207-347-5686. And I like it when people call in, and you might hear your voice on the air while we're actually doing answering your question. Don't be alarmed by that. For those of you that do ask questions, if you can please turn your unit sound down while we are answering your questions. That way there won't be because there's always this weird delay, and this is the 21st century, and you would figure, well, maybe they have advanced enough in technology that there really isn't a delay, but that has not happened just yet. I'm sure it will. Now, I talked to you all last week about a great many things, and one of them was reaching out to each other and trying to have a good attitude towards your fellow human. And I want to continue that thing. I've listened to a lot of really good things that are happening, and I've listened to some pretty tragic things that have happened. But all in all, it seems as though people are pulling together and trying to be positive with one another. We go around, we live in Standish and Maine, And Standish is a little different from Portland. People like to call it the Sticks, but I found something really unique about Standish is that no one here is rushing to do anything, which is kind of cool. Everyone is they'll all say hello, and everyone is interested in what you do. And there's some people that remember us from when we were in Westbrook. We were at the grocer today, and man looked at me, he says, "Didn't you used to run a shop in Westbrook?" And I said, "Well, yeah." He says, "I thought I recognized you." And we got to talking about fish.
Wow.
And that was pretty cool. Now, again, if you have any questions, remember this is very, us doing the TV show this way has been is very, very new for us. So excuse us if we don't come off as polished professionals. We're working on that, but we will be in a few weeks, and we'll probably still be just as dorky. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask them, and I will be very happy to answer them. Oh, wait. Before we do that, though, I did get this neat new thing, though. We went to the Apple Store.
Mac Store.
And, it seems as though the days of the mouse pad are just about gone. This is my mouse. And what it is that I just touch this and move around on it, which is really cool. And, tap it or, do little fingers things on it. And it does everything that I need to do. But see, there's no clicky button anywhere. It's really, really cool. They call it the Magic Trackpad. And I like it.
They call it what? Can you
Magic Trackpad.
Okay.
Yes. And it's for Mac, for those of us that are Mac snobs. Mac is a prima donna, and Mac has some really quirky things about it. PC is very, very user available and user friendly and all that good stuff. But my Mac has a new feature now, and I'm pretty proud of it. Maybe it's not new to you all, but it's pretty new to me. And I'm very proud of that. So, what have we got in the chat room?
We don't have a chat room.
Oh.
I mean, we do, kind of, but it's only between myself and Sonari, and there's nothing yet. I'm still waiting for her to show up.
Okay.
I'm getting some feedback on Facebook. I'm asking people.
What kind of feedback are you getting?
Here. I'm seeing if people can see us, and we got Marie.
Hi, Marie.
She's saying yes,
oh, yeah.
She can see us.
How's that event going? Okay.
She says yes, but her computer is messed up tonight. She cannot do a full screen.
That's quite all right. You don't have to do a full screen. We're still with you. She has their event coming up in Georgia.
They do, and they got. I could pull up their flyer.
Yeah, why don't you pull up their flyer so I can actually, talk about this because it seems like they're doing pretty well.
They are. Hold on, Sonari is trying to get a hold of me in another chat room. In the meantime, let me see here.
This is a business expo about local businesses in Georgia. Is that Jackson County?
Jefferson
County. Jefferson County, Georgia, and I never get his name right. I'm sorry.
Get the Business Fever Expo.
Yeah, Get the Business Fever Expo, and this is Marie Thompson that is running this, and she's one of the people running it, and it seems to be doing pretty good. They still have some spaces available for those of you that are in Georgia and those of you that will be going through Georgia. It'll be a big event for you to see. It'll be a big event for you to actually be involved in.
Here we go. Here's their flyer, and their flyer says Jefferson Business Expo flyer with special guest Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Fun for the whole family. Drop by and find some.
That's kind of funny.
And drop by and find some fun. Do you like to shop? Shop till you drop with all the many companies that will be there. Lunch with T&M Ministries, a clown for the kids with shortcut entertainment, many giveaways, and door prizes. Oh, that's new. Awesome. You don't want to miss this. March 1st, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Jefferson City Civic Center, 65 Kisam Street, Jefferson, Georgia, 30549. For more information,
what's the phone number?
Contact Tim and Marie Thompson at 706-202-5787.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so from what I understand, there's still about maybe 15 spaces left.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, there's still maybe 15, 17 spaces left. So if you can, you can help them out and help yourself out at the same time by participating in this particular event. It sounds like it's going to be pretty big and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you can get yourself out there, or if you're already out there, go to this event. And those of you that are in Georgia, you owe it to yourself to do this. This will be supporting one of your neighbors. So please go out there and be involved. Okay, so what else is going on here?
Marie just said that she thank you and that I had pronounced it right. Yes.
Good.
All right, you're welcome, and I'm glad I could.
Yeah, I know you're talking to the keyboard, and she's right there.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm talking to the keyboard.
Okay.
And
well, didn't we get?
We got a question.
Okay.
Our chat room is finally up. If you have any questions, please send them to our Facebook, and Sonari will send them to me in our chat room.
All right.
Chat room. She says, this is from Rebecca. Ahura, have you ever had an experience with physical objects disappearing only to reappear sometime later, such as a piece of jewelry or coins?
Yes, many times. I usually attribute it to the child that follows me around and has followed me around for many, many years. Her name is Shiri. She's a little girl. And she likes shiny things. So she takes shiny things. She puts them back, but she does take them, and stuff disappears all the time, particularly Kazi's things.
Yes, I'm always missing things, like my earrings. I like shiny things, too.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Come on now. Anyways, so I'll put them down, and then when I go and look for them, one earring is gone. One.
And then I'll have to tell Sherry, put it back.
And then I'll walk away, and right in the very place that I've looked like 500 times, it'll be sitting right there.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Usually it's because someone thinks it's pretty, or they want to have a connection, or they want to show that they're actually there. Usually it's not anything malicious or bad. It's just, and I need to straighten something out with that particular thought. When you hear things like that, you say, well, someone's playing a trick. Usually they say, well, that's a poltergeist. But that's not a poltergeist. No, that's just someone playing a trick, or someone that's very, very curious. Listen, the definition of poltergeist, the actual definition, the translation for the word poltergeist is actually noisy ghost. Okay? Usually the bump in the night, something clanked or something rattled, that would be the poltergeist. There's something that made a sound, not the popular movie thing where a skeleton pops out of a closet and wraps someone's own braces around their head. No, that's not a poltergeist. That's something else. Actually, when you get things that are that malicious, that's usually kind of a phantasm or a phantom. But what we're talking about is a poltergeist that just makes a lot of noise. And people get very, very frightened of them. There's really no reason to be frightened of them. But in this particular vein, you're talking about someone taking things. Yes, usually jewelry, something shiny, something metallic, something that does have a level of magnetism to it. Maybe you have a bunch of rings that maybe came up missing all at once. And then all of a sudden they were there again, but you had forgotten about them, so it seemed kind of strange. Many times there may be things that just kind of pass through and they displace them. So it's not necessarily that they take them all the time, they may just displace them. Because by passing through whatever dimensional portal that they did, or dimensional wall that they did, it caused a displacement in the very fabric of this particular dimension, so they got moved. They don't disappear altogether, but they may get moved. So if I were you, I'd just kind of look around for them.
Yeah, and actually Rebecca says, mine surrounds my mother, like her ring and pennies with the date of her death. And she said, yes, when I asked for them back, they do appear.
Yeah. And if it's, nothing malicious, usually that's what will happen. With Sherry, I just tell her, okay, put her things back. I really don't want to hear about it. Just put things back, okay? Don't take this, and she'll put them back pretty readily.
She will.
Yeah. She just, there's no real age, so it's not like I can turn to her and say, grow up, she stays the exact same age that she is. Age is something that happens on a physical level, not on a spiritual level. So she's always going to be that beautiful child, and she is beautiful. And she's always going to be the very playful child, and she demands attention just like any other child. And she has chosen to stay around me. I can't, make her go away. I'm not going to like push her away, or nor am I going to try to keep her. If she wants to be here, she'll be here. If she doesn't want to be here, she won't be here. But she's stuck with me for many, many years. As a matter of fact, she's given me, as I was going through a developmental period, she actually gave me a lot of answers that I really didn't ask for, and I learned the simplicity of mysticism probably from her. Because, when you're dealing with mysticism and spirituality, a lot of times you have to actually approach it like a child would, which is the simplest possible. I learned one time how to call snow, which is really funny, or just make it not snow.
Can you make it not snow?
Sometimes I can, but if nature wants to do something, there's really nothing I can do about it. If it's not absolutely needed, usually I can put in a request and it will happen. But she showed me one way to do things. I swear when I did it, I felt like about 6 years old, but there's nothing I could do about it. Listen, she said it. And as a mystic, or as whatever people like to call me, I've learned something. You take every single possibility, you take every single avenue that you possibly can, and incorporate that into what it is that you're doing. There is no just, I'm only going to accept these particular methods, or I'm going to accept this particular method. That's science. That's something else. It's popular science. It's not really even science, Well, we've got to find the physical proof to it, and if we can find the physical proof, please, give me a break. I was telling someone, I said, look, if a scientist came to me and asked me to prove to them that I'm a telepath, I would say, fine, I'll do that the moment that you prove something to me. I need for you to bring me back proof that the sun is as hot as it is. I don't want your calculations. I don't want your theories. I don't want, the calculations based upon mathematics that you can possibly come up with. No, I need for you to go and bring me a piece of the sun. The moment you do that, you brought me a piece of the sun because you went there and got it. I will prove to you that I'm a telepath. Until that time, you don't have the right to ask me to prove anything to you. And I suggest that anybody else that has a special gift take the same attitude. That's just the way that I feel about that. And as far as that particular question, it would seem suiting that your mother would have to give you something that would show that she's not being malevolent. And maybe she did want to take some things, or just, show you some things that were special to her. It's not that she wanted to do a parlor trick. She wanted to show you some things that were hers, and then maybe displace them so that you can say, oh, well, it must be her. Most of us don't really get it that way. Most of us are very, very frightened when something like that happens. And we don't need to be. We just need to understand the dynamic between the spiritual and the physical. And in that particular case, I believe that your mother was trying to show you, listen, this is me. You know how you can see that this is me? Because this was my favorite thing that I'm going to move. Okay? And here, I'll leave you this particular penny, and it has my date on it. See? These are my things. Okay? Now I'm going to put them back. Okay? Nice. Don't be alarmed.
Don't freak out.
It's okay. We just came to borrow a cup of sugar. So I think that all that person was doing was just trying to show you, yes, it is me, and I'm probably here to show you something else, so pay attention. So the next time that it happens, you know what it is, and maybe you can say something, or maybe you can do something. It's really interesting. This is what a child would do when it came to something that did exist, such as Santa Claus, okay? And whether or not the child believed that it actually did exist, the child would still follow a very simplistic manner of doing things. The child would actually leave out milk and cookies for Santa. Okay? And that's exactly what they would do. They would leave out milk and cookies for Santa. Now, who said the Santa Claus was really there? Or who said the Santa Claus is not there? Now, Kazi's having some conversation with someone.
We have our first... This is Kazi. We have Tim and Marie on the phone.
Oh, cool. Okay, but I hope that does answer your question there and help you out a bit, Rebecca. Okay.
And there you go. Hey.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hello. This is Tim and Marie Thompson. They're the ones that are running the event that we just told you about, the Get the Business
Fever Expo.
Get the Business Fever Expo in Georgia.
And actually, Marie had a question about a dream.
Well, she's right here.
Yes, she has. I'm prefacing.
Okay. How you doing?
Hi.
Beg your pardon?
I said, long time no speak.
Yeah, really. And we can hear you. This is pretty cool. See, we've got this wonderful little phone toy here. So, what can I do for you this evening? Or did you want to say something about your program?
Okay, well, no, I had a dream the other night.
Okay.
I shared it with Marie, and she was like, you need to ask Z about this.
Okay. So tell me about it.
Okay. Marie does not have a license. So I have to drive her everywhere she goes.
Okay.
All right? So we're always together. We work together. We do everything because we're together anyway. We're one flesh and God.
Okay. I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this dream, we are at a church function, and we make a homemade Brunswick stew at home.
Okay.
Okay? And we're at this church function, and we sold out of all that we had with us, and I had to come back to the house to get more. There's a dirt road not far from the church that come out right above our house, so it was a straight shot. Okay?
Okay.
So I come back, got it, went back, we sold out again, and also then my daddy tells me we need 3 more gallons for somebody we personally know. So I'm getting ready to go back to the house to get more, and this couple who's not even involved didn't order it. They say, well, we'll drive you. So I'm getting in their vehicle. Marie gets in with me this time. There's 3 kids in the vehicle, this couple, Marie, I, and another female gets in. And on the way back, they had to stop at a house. They got out, we're sitting in the car with the 3 kids, this other female, and Marie says, look, it's too crowded, we're close to the house, I'll just walk. When the couple gets back in the car, this woman's making passes at me. But next thing I know, I look up, and we are in a lost area. And like I said, this dirt road was a straight shot. We're in a lost area. Suddenly I see a sign, we're 30 miles from where we should have been.
Again.
Then I see another sign that suddenly takes us like 45 miles from where she should have been. And I'm starting to worry about Marie because she's out there by herself and we're nowhere close to where she was.
I see. Okay. And that's how the dream ended?
And that's about when I woke up.
Okay. How many nights ago did you have this dream?
2 nights, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. 2 nights ago.
Okay. There's some significators there, but this is really, really simple. Okay, first off, there's your event that's coming up. It's the 3rd month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's coming up because there's the big significator here is 3. Okay. Now remember, you had said something that was really, really deep. What you said is that you are one flesh and God. Okay, that means basically there's the 2 of you that is involved, and God is there, so that makes 3, which is really 1. Okay, so what it is that there may be a challenge, even though you're being very, very successful in what it is that you're doing, and this particular event is going to be very, very good for you. Okay, I might as well go ahead and tell you that right now. That's what it's telling you. It also tells you that March can bring about that success, but at the same time, there'll be this kind of a challenge. So what you need to do is that you have to understand this. Success brings the most outrageous things. So the two of you need to pull together. I know that you pull together in pain. Do you understand? Because couples do that. You know, they pull together when the times are hard. But it's really, really interesting that sometimes they won't pull together when things are really, really good. So what you both have to remember is this. The moment that one of you wants to go off by yourself, you need to kind of say, no, let's not do that. And there's something else that I kind of need to caution you a little bit about. And what it is that you had said that, well, you know, Marie doesn't have a license, so I kind of have to take her wherever she goes. Okay, and I'm the one that always has to drive her. I understand, and I know that you mean that in a very, very positive way. Just make sure that you're saying it in a positive way. Do you understand? It's really important that you keep one, because I can tell that, you know, you're a very spiritual person, and you're both very spiritual people. So you need to kind of make sure that you keep that spiritual trinity going on. Do you understand? This is what's telling you that there's a challenge, not necessarily to your marriage, but a challenge to your faith that's coming up, if that makes sense.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Okay.
It's actually really not a challenge to us. I misquoted that or stated that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I have to take her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I know you didn't mean it that way, but you.
But there's times, like she says, that I could be doing farm work or other work, and she could run to the store, but I have to stop what I'm doing so that we can run to the store. It's like a challenge that at times we're not being fully productive in life.
Right. Because me not having a license is hard on us.
Okay. Can you get your license?
But we don't mind it. I mean,
I understand.
it's just inconvenient at times.
I understand. Believe me, I understand. What I want to say, what I'm trying to say to you is this: your thoughts and your heart are saying the right thing. Just make sure that your words match. Remember, you do things in threes here. So we've got our heart, which is backed by our mind, and we also have to make sure that our actions are doing the exact same thing. I understand sometimes it's inconvenient, but when it comes down to it, the inconvenience doesn't really matter. What matters is that you move as a unit. Do you understand?
Right.
Okay, and this is basically what this dream is trying to tell you, is that maybe you think that something is really, really convenient. It may not be the exactly best thing at the time, at this moment. Just concentrate on what it is that you're doing and stay together on every single thing. Because if you lose sight of each other, you may lose sight badly. So for right now, it's a good thing. Okay, that you have to stop what you're doing to take her someplace. This is good. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so be okay with that. This is good thing. Okay, it's highly necessary. Sometimes you just kind of have to. You kind of have to deal with the inconvenience and adapt. Right now, your wants and your needs are matching. You don't want to change that. Old quantum physics adage: 1 and 1 make 3. Remember that. And you have the 1 and 1, and guess who's in the middle? So, you got your 3 right there. Keep it that way. Another thing, what you don't want is for something that is out there to believe that it can wedge its way in. Because even the belief can cause a person to do the wrong thing. And then when they step wrong with you, that could cause a lot of trouble. Right now you've got peace. Even though it seems a little inconvenient, it's the best thing for you right now. Concentrate on the task at hand, and that is going through this 3rd month and getting all of the success that you need. These are things you have to take into consideration. It's funny how it measured out in gallons, which basically means that, okay, you just have to, you have to go back and get a few more things and maybe some extra for other people. Just don't make the other people that are extra be the most important thing. Be okay with moving together. Of course you're going to need help, but be okay with moving together right now. It's really necessary. You've worked very hard for this particular thing, and it's coming to fruition. That much I can tell you.
And
Okay?
it will eventually come full circle.
Yep, everything. It will be fine. For right now, uh, don't lose sight of Marie.
Do what?
I'm telling him not to lose sight of you.
Right, okay. He's actually in the other room because you started breaking up on the phone, so he's listening to you on the TV.
Oh.
So I'm still with you on the cell phone. I'm over here by the door so I can try to hear you, and he's actually listening to you on the TV in the other room.
Can you hear me pretty good now?
I can barely hear you. You're starting to break up quite a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's that? Is that better?
A little better. We live up on a hill on a farm, so.
Oh. Oh, that's right. Chickens, right?
Yep.
Chickens.
We live in the middle of nowhere.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a great event. It sounds like it's going to be wonderful for a lot of people. And maybe it's something that you can make sure and do annually, because I think it's a great opportunity. And hopefully you can keep me apprised on it. You know, if you can take some footage, put it up on Facebook. You know, maybe we can just share it.
Okay.
Okay? Well, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in. Remember what I said, Tim. Don't lose sight of what Marie's doing. Okay?
He says okay.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. You guys take care, huh? Thanks for calling.
Have a
Yeah,
good
that's
night.
fine.
Okay, night-night.
Bye.
Bye.
What was that?
Oh, I said bye, and I have another question for you.
Sure.
This question comes from Jamie from East Coast Ghost Trackers.
What's up, Jamie?
He says, Ahura, last Saturday night my team was on an investigation in Franklin, Maine. We were dealing with a very negative spirit. We knew what we were walking into. 2 of my investigators were physically attacked. And blood was drawn. We knew what we were walking into and are currently working with the family to taking away the entities, the negative entities that exist there. Many people do not understand how they can physically attack a living person. Can you elaborate on this subject for those who are getting attacked and don't understand? We understand, but most don't. Thank you, boss.
Well, that's pretty good. Perhaps at some point in time, you can bring the ones that actually got attacked so that I can examine them. Okay, so I can see if anything's been left with them. There are a myriad of ways in which an entity can attack people. A negative entity can attack people. The entity can deal with things of a mental nature. It can also deal with things of an etheric nature. Now let's go mentally first. It can actually, because there's no real barrier between one person's mind to another. We like to believe that our cranium or our skull kind of buffers us, and it does, but you have to take other protective measures. Your thoughts just run rampant. Sometimes it can cause you to misstep. For instance, when I'm doing a cleaning at a house, many times I'll use candles to do the cleaning, and whatever's there will actually try to knock the candle from my hand. And it's not so much that it comes up and just kind of hits my hand or slaps it. What it does is it does things to influence the air around the object. Okay? And I have to exercise a great deal of discipline to make sure that I go through everything. Also, it can disrupt thoughts. For instance, you'll be thinking about something and trying to recite a line, and then another thought will interject itself to interrupt you. The moment that you become interrupted, what happens is it makes a tiny gap. And in that tiny gap, you can be suggested to think other things. And in fact, even if you were to say, well, I hope I don't drop this candle, what happens is you activate a wheel. And that wheel is kind of like the cause and effect wheel. And it may be that tiny, but the more that you concentrate on it, the possibility of you dropping that candle becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it does manifest itself in the physical realm if you're not careful. Other times, you may misstep. Okay? You may be walking along and not paying attention. That's one of the worst things that you can possibly do when you're having an investigation, is not pay attention. completely. This is why I always tell people not to be emotional when you're going into an investigative position. Other times, depending upon the malevolence and the pressure of that entity that you may be dealing, that can cause things to elevate and move. Not only can they cause things to elevate and move, they can also cause a person to misstep. And some of them can manifest a bit of tangibility, depending upon the energy level, to actually create a bump in the floor, so to speak. You've seen people walking along and all of a sudden they trip for absolutely no reason at all, and they turn around to look at that place that they tripped like it did something wrong. Well, sometimes there's actually an astral entity that will actually have enough energy manifested to cause that person to trip. There are accidents that happen all the time. I can take you to stretches of the highway where there are entities that are out there that will run right in front of a person because they're sleepy, run right in front of that person and cause an accident. Or other times that person swore that there was someone standing there, and for all intents and purposes they were right, but it just manifested for a moment. Other times, depending upon the level of malevolence, they can cause things like cuts or scratches or burns even, depending upon the nature of that individual or the nature of that entity. That entity also has to have a fuel source. In other words, whoever's living in that particular place has been the source of fuel for that entity to be able to manifest. It's not like they can do it all the time. They can do it in pulses. They build up a charge and then something happens and then it dissipates for a while. But then they'll do it again and again and again, because usually if you're somewhere and all of a sudden you get a cut out of the air and you don't know what happened, that causes your energy level to kind of raise and you get freaked out about it. And then you wind up feeding that entity that has introduced itself to you. At first it may just be almost nothing. But the moment that someone comes in, we people are like batteries. Believe you me, the amount of power that it takes to run each of our bodies is phenomenal. And that can be tapped into depending upon the level of that individual. So when I go in to do an investigation, I make sure that I'm covered completely. I make sure that, all of my energy centers are intact, and I make sure that I'm in a certain state of mind just to do my work. There are rules that have to be followed. In that particular case, Jamie, one of the things that I'm going to tell you is that the next time you have to go and do that, I'd like for you to open a channel to me so I can make sure that you guys are okay. Because if it's causing injuries to any of your team, that's a huge red flag. Okay? So I need to know where the cuts happened or where the blood came from. I need to know if there was there pain that was associated with it.
He says, yes, we found the source.
Okay.
You should call in.
Yeah, they found the source.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to know what the source actually was, because it sounds like there's a phantasm there and there's something that caused it to be there. In other words, there's a central point. And if there is a central point that is the fuel source of this particular entity, depending upon whether it's a living organism or just a channel, it could be indefinite or it can be just temporary. It could be moved out, or maybe it's just anchored there. So all these things really do matter. And since you found the source, it shouldn't be much of a problem. You just have to decide whether or not you're equipped to deal with the problem. If you're not, it's okay to admit it. And if I have to come down and help you guys from time to time, I don't mind doing that. But in the case that you're saying that there's blood, remember this. If there's blood drawn, that one drop of blood is like 50 car batteries, all fully charged. And if there's an emotional catalyst that goes along with it, it multiplies itself. One drop of blood has a potentiality to multiply itself and give enough power to run a building for about 5 months. And imagine what that can do to a paranormal entity. So you really kind of have to make sure that there's a shield around everything. Okay? And this is one of those things that I train people and to make sure, then we call it psychic self-defense, just to make sure that people who have teams know how to handle certain things. There are different levels of entities. There's your average ghost, which is usually just an energy signature that is left by something that was once living, that repeated a pattern over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then there is a stationary ghost. Now, a stationary ghost is because something happened at that particular moment that left a huge energy center and it anchored itself right at that area. Then there is a spirit, an actual entity, a person that is actual, there, that is capable of interacting. The only problem with that is that they need a constant charge. It's kind of, they need to plug into something so that they make sure that there's enough energy for them to manifest. And then there is a full form entity, full form spirit entity, which is one of those that can travel. And travel so long as it finds an energy source. There are those that are anchored into a place because something very bad, very traumatic happened to them, and they're just stuck there. And those are usually the ones that need the help. It's not that they're stuck there. They can manifest themselves way down the street or way up the street, but there's where their anchor is. But then there's those that can travel. They can travel from country to country to country, and there are billions of those. Time and space is not what it is in the spiritual world, is not what it is in our dimension. It's a totally different thing. Then there are those that are angry entities. And those angry entities cause trouble. But they are usually not of the sort that want to cause a huge amount of trouble. Then there are those that are. Those are called phantoms. And depending upon their level, they're called gatekeepers and phantoms, or specters, if you will. And those are dangerous. From that particular point, there are those that are astral beings that are very, very malevolent, and then there are those that are of the demonic nature. Not all of them are demonic. Some of them are vampiric. And yes, there really are such things as vampiric energies. They don't go around drinking your blood or biting you. That is cannibal. However, there are those that will steal your energy and keep stealing your energy. There's a lot of very bad things out there. There are also a lot of very good things out there. Angels are very, very real. There are different types of entities that lead up to angel, just like there are different types of entities that lead to demon. They're wide. But yes, they can cause harm. They can even cause you to harm yourself just by injecting a thought, a suggestion, if you will. And you may not be the one that is suggestible. They may work through someone else. And that person may just have one of those fluxes, and all of a sudden they move a certain way, which causes you to move a certain way, and you wind up being hurt. It's amazing what can actually happen. You need to look at every single possibility. You have to take everything into consideration. I'm sure you've seen these wonderful examples that they did on some of these movies. What was that movie called? Final Destination. When I watched that, I went, someone actually had an experience. Because that's kind of how it works. One thing leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another, which causes another, which causes this to react, and then boom.
It's the butterfly effect, yeah?
Yeah, kind of. Everything is related. Believe it or not, it works that way. So you have to be on guard all the time. Unfortunately, we're taught in our particular society to be vulnerable. Let your guard down. Don't. You hear people all the time go, well, I would like to trust you, and I trust you. And, I always tell my students, don't trust me, because in truth, and absolute truth, I can throw people further than I trust them. I have confidence in people that they will do what they have to do. But you really need to think about things. You're supposed to keep your guard up, no matter what. It doesn't mean walk around being grim and mean. What it means is for you to always be aware and always be alert. Always look for that thing that you think is not possible. Always don't be paranoid. But what I mean is just don't forget your peripheral vision just because you can see something straight ahead. And don't forget the things that are straight ahead because you're trying to develop your periphery. Be alert on all costs. Understand that the paranormal world is related to the normal world, hence the term paranormal. Normal, paranormal, beyond normal, or normal and beyond. And this is very, very real. So there are many ways that you can be hurt paranormally, but there are other ways that you can keep yourself safe paranormally. I've pointed out many, many different ways. Don't come home from work dealing with all of the people that you've had to deal with and go to your bedroom and sit and lay on your bed in the clothes that you worked in. If you go to a restaurant that has crappy service, turn around and walk out. Don't cause a scene. Don't be mean. Just leave. If you can see that the chef is being very, very angry, you don't want to eat that person's food. You know? You want to make sure that you're eating at a place where everybody's happy. You want to make sure that there are certain things that you do in order to make sure that the sanctity of your home is maintained. Don't invite angry people to your home. You tell them, listen, I don't mind you coming to visit. In fact, I like that you come to visit. But if you're going to be angry, this is not a good time. So you should probably go home. And 3, I want to point out something really interesting. I told a student this just the other day. And I said, listen, don't invite people into your bedroom. There are certain circumstances that you do, and I'm not going to go into them. But for you people that are couples, you don't invite everybody into your bedroom, okay? Because you don't know where they've been. You invite a bunch of people into your bedroom, and all of a sudden you start fighting about something that neither one of you would normally even discuss. You know, you have to watch the people that come into your home. You know, you've heard the term secondhand smoke. Well, there's secondhand energy as well. You know, you really don't want certain things. If you know that people are going to be negative, or you know that they're having problems, you're going to invite them into your bedroom so that they can spread their problems all over the place, you know. And make sure that, it's not necessarily what we call polite, but make sure that when people do leave your home, that if they left very positively, you know that everything is good. But if people are starting to bicker and argue before they leave your home, make sure you give your home a nice cleaning. You don't want to create gaps. You don't want any gaps. You want everything in your home to be good. And that's one of the ways that you protect yourself. Take care of your children. Make sure that your children understand that, listen, I'm your friend. You know, or I'm your parent. I want to make sure that everything is all right with you. Okay? And then you can have these discussions from time to time. Don't make it a morbid discussion, you know, like sometimes parents do. We're going to have a talk. No, kids don't really want to hear that crap, and you really don't want to have to do that. Just make everything very, very relaxed. And if you stay relaxed, it will be relaxed. But if you have a malevolent energy in your home, one of the worst things that you can do is call it out. Because believe you me, there's some things that will kick your tail. Okay? Simply because you called them out. Make sure you're okay. Okay? For those of you that are paranormal investigators, understand this. We as adults, okay, we understand you like to do things like take a drink. You want to do some recreational things, and I'm not going to get into any of that. I just suggest that you don't. But when it comes to paranormal investigation, abuse of substances and paranormal investigation don't mix. Heavy drinking, paranormal investigation do not mix. being an abusive person and paranormal investigation should never mix. Because unfortunately, they mix rather well. And what I mean is that that malevolent energy will fixate itself on your anger or your problem. And that's not something that you want. Okay, so there are many ways in which I could probably teach a 2-hour class on that one thing, how entities can affect the way that you feel or the things that you do, and can do things to injure you or cause you to injure yourself. Anyway, I hope that does help out, Jamie. See if you can bring those people in so I can treat them, okay?
And Jamie says, will do, and I have another bad case next weekend. Next weekend we are dealing with an incubus. I may need to give you a call.
You're dealing with an incubus? Okay, that's dangerous for you. Make sure you let the ladies take charge in that, okay? You tell them what to do, that's fine, but you make sure, and I know that Holly's pretty strong, so you make sure that the ladies lead on that. You don't want to have to deal with an incubus, okay? I'm sure you're capable, but you don't really want to have to deal. Wait a minute, you said incubus, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're fine. You deal with the incubus. Let the ladies go away, okay? You don't want them to have to deal with it. I mixed up incubus and succubus, okay? You make sure that the guys deal with this, okay? If it's a succubus, you make sure that the women deal with it, okay? You don't want to have to deal with that. There's some things, and you know, you're a strong guy, and Ken might be able to deal with it. But, we still have some things to work with you with, and I don't mean any insults by this, so please don't take it that way. There's some things that are going on with you, Jamie, at the moment, that it wouldn't be a good idea for you to deal with a succubus, okay?
Incubus.
Yeah, I know. They're dealing with an incubus, so. And I really don't want any of the women to have to deal with the incubus, okay? There are some of them that are pretty tough. I get it. But there's a dynamic here, okay? Let the ladies kind of take the back seat. And I'm sorry, ladies, I don't mean to sound chauvinist at all. I'm just telling the truth here. If it's dealing with a succubus, then you get the forefront, okay? And then, Jamie, you guys take the back seat and let the women deal with it. This is the dynamic, okay? You'll be okay with an incubus, unless it turns out to be very, very violent. In that case, you'll have to exercise some things, okay? But yeah, I'll be more than happy to be available for you, okay? If there's anything else, let me know, okay?
And Tim earlier wanted to add, in regards to his dream, something that just came to mind. The female in the dream is not a female but a distraction. He says, which could be my parents' health. For my daddy had a mini stroke 2 weeks ago and lost his left eye. He is 75 in 2 weeks, and it hurts seeing him go through what he is going through.
Okay. I hope you find some peace with him. Just make sure that he's comfortable, and if you can. And that doesn't necessarily have to do with a distraction. That is more pointed than that. It may be an emotional issue that could be distracting, if anything. So, you know, make sure your dad is comfortable and taken care of. He's 75, he must be tough. So, you know, it should be okay. Just keep your eye on Marie. And not that Marie's going to do anything bad, just make sure that you're right there with her. She evidently is a spearhead for what it is that you all are doing. Okay? Just don't lose sight of her.
And,
Okay.
actually, Marie asks, couldn't an incubus also be dangerous for a man as well?
Not necessarily. Well, it can be, of course. Like I said, it would be dangerous. An incubus would be dangerous to a man on a violent level, but not as far as an energetic level. This is the dynamic. I know that we like to believe things based upon a sociality, but in truth, can't do much to his energy, just in violence. But you know, that's that particular thing that we men have to deal with every single day. In a roundabout way, If you have a weapon, and that could be other people that are influenced by this particular entity, that could be a danger to men, just the same way as the other can be a danger to women. It would be far, far better for men to deal with that. There's some pretty powerful women, and I don't negate or doubt the power of women. I always take the route that is going to be of order, and this is the way you do it. If there was the woman that was in charge of the whole operation, then she would have to allow, if it's an incubus, she would have to allow the men to be her arms. Well, the same way if there was a succubus. Both sides may need to be there, but one has to take the back seat and let the other one be pushed ahead. This is just the way that it is. It's called adaptability. You know, if you know that there's water that's coming, and water may be the bane of one person, then you let the person who that bane doesn't exist with lead the way, but you follow and support with the other person. You know, so hope that helps you out. I would be interested in all of that, though, to make sure that everybody's okay. Okay. All right. If you have any other questions, please feel free at any moment in time to call in or to ask them online.
On Facebook. I have a couple questions for you.
Okay, what do you got?
And we also have a caller.
Okay.
Which would you like first?
Questions.
Questions
Obviously.
first. Okay. And just a side note, Marie says, Daddy is tough, and Tim says, never. Marie is my rock to lean on.
Awesome.
All right. And this next question comes from Jamie Lynn. Jamie.
Okay.
And she asks, how do I cleanse some of this negative energy and think clearly and focus? I usually do it on my own in my natural space. I think she's referring to meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I just could use a little extra help on tips right now.
Okay. There are several things that I like to do. If you just light a candle and sit and gaze at it for a little bit, don't stare at it. Don't stare. Just gaze at it for a bit. Get your thoughts in order. Close your eyes. Breathe easy, to the point that you can actually feel your own breathing. Okay, I mean, really feel it. And then when you get comfortable, take a deep breath, and then take another deep breath. Take one more deep breath, and then hold your breath. In your mind's eye, place every single thing that has caused you to leave your center, that has caused you to be uncomfortable, that has caused you undue stress. Blow it away. Repeat this 2 other times. And then on the last time that you're doing it, while you're holding your breath, take every single thing that has told you that you are not a whole and complete being, that you are not wholly spiritual, and that you are not wholly centered. Every single thing. Place it in the palm of your hand in your mind's eye. Blow it away. And then sit and breathe easy. Don't try to shut out any type of thought. Don't try to stop yourself from moving. Don't try to stand there or sit there still. If you need to move a bit, then move. If you need to scratch somewhere, then scratch. Don't try to block out other sounds. Make them all one sound in your consciousness. Make them all a part of your consciousness. And then, when you've made them all into one sound, turn them down. And the moment that you have them turned all the way down, don't wait there to see whether or not they're going to come back. Click that little button off and then open your eyes. That's one method. If you're interested in other methods of meditation, remember I do teach classes. And I'll make sure that you know how to govern your own mind. There's a lot of stress out there and a lot of stimulus for stress. You have to decide that you're going to not allow it to destroy you. You have to decide that you're not going to allow that to be your governing factor. Remember, you have the right to have peace. It is within you to have peace and to be calm, to have your thoughts ordered the way that you want them to be ordered, to have your life going the way that you want it to be going, not the way that someone tells you that it's supposed to go, not the way that other people have bullied you to go, but the way that you need to go. Remember that. We all have the right. That is part of that wonderful commodity that we get that we like to call free will. You just have to make sure, Jamie, that you want certain things and you need certain things, and that those needs and those wants match. And I know that you have it within you to make sure that those things match. Once they do match, don't accept no for an answer. Be calm. Make yourself calm. Do something that is going to cause calm, not something that's going to elevate your passions. There's those things, and I like to say there's doing, and then there's not doing. When you discover that you're doing so much that all it's causing is stress, then you need to exercise the other part, which is not doing. So instead of trying to hold on so hard, let go. Envision yourself holding on to this rope, and that rope is all of those problems that you've had to deal with, and all of the stresses that you have to deal with, and all of the questions that you have, and all of the problems that are going on in your life. And you view yourself, and you can just sit there and hold that thing tight. But then, just let go. Just let go. Let go of the rope. You'll find something interesting. Once you've employed this a couple of times, you'll say, what was I holding on to? You'll discover that you could have let go a while ago. And then just be at peace. Music is always helpful to you. Choose your music carefully. Time for some de-stress. Okay? Pick something calm. Even if it's for just 10 minutes. That should help you. If you need more, I have tons. Hope that helps you. Okay, what else have you got?
This other question is from Nadine. She wants to know, what does it mean if you dream you have bald patches in your hair?
Means that you're losing energy from that place. And in your particular case, I think that you're overly mentally stressed. Okay? That's what it means. No, your hair's not going to fall out. It'll be okay. You should see you're losing energy. There's something that is pressing in your mind that is causing you to deteriorate in energy. If you have something that you need to deal with on a mental level, then deal with it. It's okay. Just be forthcoming with it. There's something that's bothering you. And I suggest that you keep your hands out of your head. Because I know you, and I know what you do. Okay, so get things in order. Don't be so stressed about things. Relax. Things will work out. They always do. Okay? All right. Hope that helps. What do you got?
We have Elise on the phone.
Oh, let me talk to Elise.
She's
I'll do it.
Mute.
Just right here?
Hit the mute button, and then hit speakerphone.
Hello, Elise.
Hello?
How are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good.
There's a bit of a delay.
Is this a good connection?
Well, there's a bit of a delay, so if you can turn your unit down, turn your TV down. Okay.
I can see, through my peripheral vision, I can see spiritual beings, but not head on, and I was wondering why, and I was wondering how can I develop my spiritual sight so I can see them head on.
Well, that takes practice. You're just going to have to, yeah, really. I mean, you're just going to have to practice. Remember, we're dealing with I mentioned that a little earlier, is that, we've been trained to see things straight on. And what we've been trained to see straight on is the physical dimension. That's why you usually get things at the periphery of your vision. Now, if you can take that periphery and bring it to the forefront, and that's going to take some practice. Now, people who are martial artists who are very, very, like myself and other people have been trained in that particular technique. My periphery is just as important to me as my frontal vision. And you kind of have to do that. Now, you paint. Now, remembering that when you paint, you see things right in front of you, but you also see them in your periphery. If you can make everything just as important, you'll start to develop that periphery vision right to the front.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You just kind of have to, it's the key to almost anything. Discipline, 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 no matter what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And training and training and training. You have to practice over and over again until you get the desired results.
Okay. I understand. I just don't know how to bring peripheral vision into the front.
Well, like I said, practice it. See your periphery actually moving more to the front. You can do that. And, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It matters whether you can do it. So, next time, one of the exercises you can do is put your fingers out to the edge of your periphery and wiggle them and see if you can actually see them. And if you can see them, see if you can become more and more aware of them with each time that you do it. And after a while, that peripheral vision will be just as important. And then just move it towards the front so that you can have the same vision to the front that you do with the periphery.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It was a tough battle this morning, but I managed to pull through it, and I'm a lot better now.
Good. I'm glad.
And,
well, you're always in my thoughts and always in my prayers.
Thanks. We're always praying for you guys, too.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I always like calling in, so...
Yeah, I like it when you call in, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Night-night.
Okay. Night.
Night-night. And that's Elise. Great. We hadn't heard from her in a couple of weeks.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, I appreciate all of your questions. It's really quite good questions tonight. If you have any more questions about how spiritual entities affect us on our everyday life, our everyday lives, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions as well. Do you have anything else in the...
No, it looks like that's all for questions for
All
the
right.
moment.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this particular episode. It's been wonderful tonight. All you people out there that are friends of Unicorn Cove and friends of Uhura Z and friends of Ask the Unicorn, we really appreciate you all. Like I said, forgive us for not being polished at what it is that we're doing. We're polishing it every single day. And you see that we're getting our wonderful set together. And so I just want to tell you all have a great week, and I'll see you all next week.
And just before we go, to let you all know, for more information about what Uhura Z does, you can visit us at www.unicorn-cove.com, and that is Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. Uhura teaches classes online and also in person. And if you would also like to schedule an appointment or ask any other questions, you can send us an email at info@unicorn-cove.com.
I also do readings, telepathic readings, and telepathic counseling. So You can read our website. That's Ask the Unicorn, or excuse me, Unicorn Cove website. That's www.unicorn-cove.com. And I'll be more than happy to help you all out. Now, as I said, it's very, very important that we keep doing the show. So if you would like to go to the Ask the Unicorn site and make a donation, that would actually help us out a great deal. Then we can have a real set. We can get better equipment so that we can better accommodate the show. I'm hoping to have guests on the show as soon as we get our cameras doing things that I would like for them to do, like work all by themselves. You know.
It looks like we might have somebody on the phone line.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not getting any response. Oh, nope, just kidding.
Okay. Well, again, this has been Ask the Unicorn. I'm Uhura Z. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and I hope to see you all next week. Have a wonderful week. Night-night.
Night-night.